next guest turned a personal frustration into a lifelong mission. Lee Balcomb is the founder of Healthy Anywhere, an app that acts like a holistic nutritionist and food analyst in your pocket, helping busy, traveling, health-conscious people find truly nourishing meals wherever they go on the road. The idea was born back in 2003 from Lee's own experience eating on the road, but she went all in, earning a holistic nutrition certification, studying sustainable food systems at UC Berkeley, and building a curated scoring system now live in over 600 locations worldwide. Entirely bootstrapped, she's coded through developer failures, hosted citywide dining events, and never lost sight of the vision. But what makes Lee truly remarkable isn't just what she built, it's who she's becoming along the way and how she realizes that for herself. Please welcome Lee Balcomb.
Startups with Stu is a podcast for anyone living or wanting to live the startup life, either as a founder or a team member. Your host, Stuart Draper, was a 9-time Inc. 5000 honoree before age 40. This show dives deep into the exhilarating world of entrepreneurship with guests that are seeking advice from Stu for their startup or business owners that want to share their entrepreneurial journey. Listeners always walk away with actionable ideas of what to do to take their startup to the moon. Startup life can feel like a roller coaster ride, and with Startups with Stu, you're likely to turn your roller coaster ride into a rocket ship ride. Get ready to uncover the secrets to startup success from visionary founders and savvy investors who've transformed groundbreaking ideas into thriving ventures.
On the Startups with Stu show, we talk about what it takes to take your startup to the moon. And I had the chance to go and speak about Startups with Stu and what I'm doing in front of a live audience in Laguna Beach, California. Chad Willardson puts on amazing events. If you haven't followed Chad on LinkedIn, you need to. He is changing lives, and it's fun to be a part of what he's doing. Lee Balcomb is a founder that I was able to connect with because I attended and spoke at that event. So Lee, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Stu. It is great to finally be with you and connect. And yes, what a treat Laguna was. I mean, you're outside, you're on the beach. What conference does that, right?
That was incredible. The backdrop was, you can't beat that, I don't think. So it was amazing. Loved my time there, and glad we could connect. So Lee, you've been working on yourself, building yourself into the person you want to become for a long time. Your whole life was a work. It's a life work. But for years, you've been an entrepreneur. Again, you told me mostly your whole life. But tell me about the journey specifically with Healthy Anywhere app. How long have you been doing that? And tell us about the app as well.
So first of all, the Healthy Anywhere app, I would say, imagine if you had a holistic nutritionist, a food writer, and a data analyst all in one, on call to help you decide where you're going to go eat and what you're going to order. And that's Healthy Anywhere in a nutshell. Very highly curated per very specific standards. And I'm here to serve those people who are busy, on the go, traveling, care about their health, and don't want to get that, don't want their busy schedule to get in the way of nourishing themselves and staying on their A game. So, this is a really personal story. So for me, Healthy Anywhere first came to me in January of 2003. Believe it or not. Yeah.
Wow.
And I have been working on it full time since 2018, the end of 2018. Unbelievable to say. It's been nearly 8 years.
Yeah.
I am still going.
So 15 years of this idea that's never gone away. It's been in the back of your head. And then for the last 8, you've been saying, okay, I'm going to take action. But what has that action looked like if it's been since 2018?
That action has been, interrupted at first. So when I first set out to do it, I realized I had been working for 11 years and I had never taken a breather. And so I didn't realize how tired I was. And I needed 6 months I thought, oh, I'm going to jump into this. It's going to be $200,000 of savings and it's going to be 2 years and I'm going to have 1 million users, woohoo. Like, this is what I'm thinking.
You had the vision and
Right.
dream.
Right. And I walk out of my job that I had loved, and really thrived at, and realize, like, whoa, I kind of need to stare at the walls here for a little bit and like just decompress. And then you go through this, oh, well, I don't know marketing. I don't know website. I got to do everything. So I did all the courses. I read like 60 books that year. Not kidding. And I love reading. I'm always reading, learning, listening. But it was just a fire hose of learning. I also went and did a 2-year immersion into holistic nutrition studies, got a certification, figured if I'm going to do this, I need the street cred. And I also did studies at UC Berkeley, going deep into sustainable food systems. That really, really refined my thinking for our scoring and brought sustainability, and how it's just really fascinating. I can tend to go on tangents, but food that's grown properly in a way that's better for the planet, better for the environment, guess what? It tends to be healthier and it tends to taste better because it's fresher. And so it's the light bulbs were just going off as I'm learning more and more. So I started building the scoring system in 2019. Now, this was based on a system that I was on the road traveling, had this vision because, and I think I should, can I take a pause and back up and tell you a little of my story?
Absolutely. Yes. I was going to say that we need to hear the 11-year grind that you were on, like what you were doing at least to give us a high level.
Yeah. I think it's important to understand. So I grew up in Montgomery, Alabama, eating out like every night. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And this wasn't the places in the Healthy Anywhere app today. It's Wendy's, Shoney's, Little Caesars pizza with 2-liter Coke and Krispy Kreme crullers Saturday morning for breakfast. So I am not feeling so hot. I'm bloated, I'm foggy. And this is as a young child. So by 7th grade, I am literally trying Slim Fast, protein bars. I tried everything just to kind of feel better. And it wasn't until my 20s that I moved to California and discover veggies that come from the ground, not the cans. And that, extra virgin olive oil, fewer chemicals. And it was just, I had never felt better. So then I've got this consulting job. I'm traveling every week and I'm determined to eat healthy anywhere. Right. But I'm on the road. So
Yep.
My first flight out of SFO, I just feel like, okay, I really should be eating something, but it's 6 a.m. I don't know. There's soup, Mexican pastries, protein bars, and like froyo. Like, I don't know this airport. So, I figure I'd wait till the layover, which becomes non-existent because we're delayed, hours and hours on the tarmac. So I arrived to Philadelphia to a barren corporate apartment. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning, nothing to eat. And that was the moment. That was January 2003. And I was like, you know what? Never again. Like, I'm going to map out my options so I know. And so that really put everything into motion for me. And then until when I would falter. So I faltered when we went to Italy. And we're in Florence. And I didn't do my nutritional due diligence. And So the concierge is like, oh, you got to go around the corner. My friend has this place. He'll take great care of you. So I'm like, awesome. This is awesome, right? So I'm sitting there. This is my very first ever meal in Italy, by the way, ever. And I see our server slam something. Deet, deet, deet. And that dude is microwaving my dinner. No lie. Right. So
Wow.
yeah. So, after that happens, when I end up stuck in DC after a work trip, I realize I'm going to be there for the weekend. I spend Friday night making a spreadsheet. And I mean, I'm going through, who are the food, Tom Sietzima's top 100 list. Who are the food writers? Like Google searches, looking at all the menus. I'm checking, so I come up with this list of like 78 restaurants and 14 columns. And I'm like, okay, they got wild fish, organic veggies, leafy greens, because I want like a beautiful salad, not just romaine, iceberg, yada, yada. Nice healthy fats and oils. And so it's like I had the best weekend in DC, like brunches, artisan espresso with organic milk, this level of, I had the all organic green juice in the glass reusable jar. So it was really over the top, but I was like, this is it. Right. So, I mean, I would lock myself in in the house for like a weekend before our trip to Spain or Austria. Cause I'm like, I'm gonna do my due diligence, and we're gonna, and sure enough, it was amazing. So people started at my last job, people would come to me and be like, oh, where should I go eat? Right. So this is just fun. And then private equity buys the company, and man, it was such a wonderful place. Right. But it's like, so sometimes, and so the culture just changed and people were jumping ship, and I hung in there for a good year. And then finally I was like, I got to do this. So that was in 2018, and it just hit me like, I am going to dedicate my life to bringing this system to the world. And I want to put together a collection of the most inspiring, places to eat, period. And so that's the story. So that keeps me going. I mean, it is a lifelong pursuit.
So the app, then, I say I'm headed to San Antonio, Texas, and I'm looking for a plan for healthy options, and it gives me the list, right? I get the list of all the places, but does it go beyond there? Like, give us an overview of the functionality.
So let's look at San Antonio. Can you see this? Whoops. Oh boy, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I got you.
All right. So first of all, it's designed to be very visual and clean.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything is curated. So can you see this?
It's got the full list of the restaurant and the map, and shows me how to get there and
so
things like that.
here's a really amazing one. I want you to look at this one, farm table. So you can see they pretty much hit almost all of the features, and those are all set by very specific thresholds. We've got a quick summary up here, but then I'm giving you kind of the scoop down here, right? So they're sourcing from regenerative farms. They're using the healing power of food and botanicals to create nutrient-dense anti-inflammatory menus designed for optimal digestion. You've got fresh produce and meats sourced from small local farms that prioritize organic and regenerative practices, house-made ferments, nut cheeses, high-quality organic oils and fats. And then we list them, house-made ghee. I mean, so it's like the menu is entirely free of gluten, dairy, sugar, natural wines. And then I say, you got to check out brunch, dinner, and happy hour there. They're all outstanding. And we've got some awards down here. And, this is what I would call almost a clean sweep. They've got our essential. So this is a top healthy in the world. So these are the functional medicine places. They're focused on the healing fat, but it's delicious. It really is delicious. So this is like one of those gold star spots. They
Okay.
even got our Good for Gut award. What app has a gut friendly dishes filter on it, and they make desserts with natural sugars like maple syrup and bananas and dates. So they got our sweet treat award, and they got our best brunch award because they've got beautiful leafy greens and veggies on that brunch menu, which is what I want to see, because I got to get my veggies on, right? Sure, I would love to have the pasture raised eggs. I'd love to have, maybe the fresh milled or gluten-free waffle or whatever, but I want a beautiful salad or hash with some seasonal veggies in there. Anyways, so there's a lot in here, Stu. There's a lot.
Well, I find myself, I've done business travel a lot, Lee, and
Yeah.
I've turned to Yelp, I've turned to Google reviews to decide where I'm going to eat, and I spend a second looking at what kind of options they have. I'm not someone who's overly worried about the details and I haven't studied it enough, but I'm guessing within the world of those that are worried about this would really hit. Do you know what segment of the population is as passionate as you are about this?
Yeah, there are a few segments. So I would say the the self-identifying like biohackers, right? Although some of them can get, the whole carnivore thing. I'm like, I don't know, I need veggies. So we are whole food, plant-based. So in terms of a percentage, I don't know. That's something I need to figure out.
Yeah, it'd be good to know for market
Um,
research, but I
yeah.
think my reason for asking is that, like, when you set out to start a business, no matter what
Mhm.
the business is, if you aim at everyone, you're really not aimed at
Yeah.
anyone. So you have
Yeah.
to find a way to say, okay, here's who I'm going for.
Yep.
Uh, the Lee Balcombs of the world. You're going for the people like
Yeah.
you, which is awesome. And a
Yeah.
lot of founders are like that, built by us because we're like you kind of mentality.
Mhm.
Now it's a matter of going, okay,
How do I find these people?
where are the people like me? And then you got to go be in front of them, right?
Yes. Yes. 100% Stu. And I just learned that lesson in spades. Uh, I threw a citywide event for Colorado Springs. This again, I'd like to level set with some context, but going back to how this has all built, and this is where I would love some more feedback from you. I want this to be worldwide, right? It's a very highly specialized, highly curated. I have had some failed attempts, some like big failed projects at really trying to automate it. I brought on an AI contractor. It like nearly blew up it was just like garbage, everything has to be manually kind of redone type thing. And we didn't realize how bad it was until down the road. So it was like a double whammy, all kinds of fun stuff. Um, but so I'm unable, well, to date, I had been unable to scale and be everywhere, which I feel like our brand promise of being anywhere. We got to be everywhere, and I got to figure that out. But then I need to get traction. So, but I wasn't really out there marketing, right? So because I'm like, oh, I got to build, and getting distracted by all these crazy projects and trying to automate. And so what would happen is someone in rural Maine would find me and be like, oh my God, I love your app, but there's no coverage. And so I'd be like, okay, I want to serve you. Like, you're like a paying member now. Great. And then I would be heads down for a week and I would get Portland, Maine in the app now, but there's like one person up there, right? And I mean, and fast forward, we're in over 600 locations worldwide. Um, but, I woke up, I should have woken up and realized this sooner, but in 2025, I had the realization that I could spend every single day of the rest of my life, 7 days a week, 10 plus hours a day, building this thing and maybe have a few hundred users at the end of it, and I'm like, okay. So this was like the about face. Um, and so I decided I needed this one to many approach. So I started thinking up what, I've always got lots of ideas. I mean, I've got lots of stuff I want to do, with Healthy Anywhere and even beyond. But so one of the things I had always wanted to do was like restaurant week, but make it Healthy Anywhere style and like wrap the community up, right? And have an app powered event. So you got to have the app to participate. And then it's just a celebration of all the beautiful, healthy food. And anyways,
That's a cool idea. I like the concept here. Okay.
Yeah, I did it. I launched. I mean, look at this. I did it. This was
the COS Healthy Week.
Colorado Springs. I mean, oh gosh, I got videos. I got all kinds of stuff. But I had never been to this city in my life. I didn't know anyone. I did know one person who was putting on a health and fitness, the Colorado Springs Health and Fitness Expo. This woman named Sandy Griffin. She is an amazing force of nature. And I met her through a mutual former colleague. And she's like, you got to do this here. I mentioned the idea to her. She wanted to collaborate on something. And so I decide that I'm going to put it on in less than 12 weeks. But I'll tell you, I got 30 restaurants to participate, over $2,000 in prizes, and we had an entire new app build. Like, it was going to be so cool. But then the whole app build still hasn't happened yet, honestly, because my developer ended up bailing, and I didn't know that was going to happen until literally 4 days before our launch party. Anyways, I just ran 500 miles an hour into a brick wall, and I'm picking myself up right now. But I learned so much. And there were so many bright spots out of that whole experience too. I mean, I could tell you stories of how I don't know what I'm doing, or, and I get in the lift and the guy's worked in hospitality and he's connecting me with all these people. What are the chances of this? It was just really, but stuff like that happened all the time when I was there. So I was like, man, I'm on the path. Yes, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But then, things fall through and things don't happen. And so I didn't get the subscribers that I wanted. I got a lot of awareness. I went on live TV twice. So that was a really fun experience.
Yeah, good for you. Way to hustle. I love the grind here. And I love that you immediately, like a lot of founders, optimism is your friend. And you say, I'm not. Basically, what you're saying is, I wasn't losing, I was learning. I wasn't winning, but I wasn't losing because I was learning, kind of thing. Yeah. And you're gaining new connections that lead to new opportunities. So yeah, that's that, like, can't stop, won't stop, never gonna quit.
Yeah.
But this didn't win like I wanted it to either.
Bingo. I will say I did there were a few additional life stressors that piled on there, with the developer bailing and then me last minute rolling up my sleeves, figuring out I'm coding QR, PHP. I mean, I did the solution so it would work. I'm coding it up until 2 hours before our launch party. And it's like, yeah, Lee should not be doing this, but I can, and I did, and it wasn't it wasn't what it was supposed to be. So, I ended up collecting a bunch of email addresses that I then had to go follow up with, and that really isn't a good system because it should have prompted them immediately to get the app and then get the thing. So a lot of people just got all these deals at these restaurants around town, and you know, it is what it is, right?
How
Um,
many emails did you get?
it wasn't even that much. It was like 60 to 70.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Wow. What a
like, I
go.
thought I was
What a
going to have
go.
like thousands. There were, but I will say, 4 restaurants out of the roughly 30 drove 72% of the QR scans. And then the top 2 were like 56%. So, and the thing was, I'm into Colorado Springs. I tell you, I didn't have help on the ground. And I spent 2 months just trying to get all the restaurants to participate. And then we flopped on the marketing and public awareness. Live TV was great, but it was definitely like a tiny piece of what I had intended to do. Uh so anyways, but the lesson about that, right? So the people who ultimately I got their emails. I'm not really sure they're my people. Like they might have just been like, "Oh, I'm going to get 15% off here." Right? Opportunistic and wanting the deal in the moment, but I don't know if they're I mean, who knows? Who knows? But so yeah, big PR kind of customer appreciation event. I think the lesson for me is I don't do that unless I have like 200 super users in a location, and then because I will say, Stu, so I had customers drive down from Denver, Boulder, and Fort Collins that were current app members, and they were so excited that I was doing this, and they had a blast. They were like, it really did fill me up. There was one woman, she brought her husband down. They were there for the whole weekend. They went to like 5 of the places,
Mm-hmm.
like just in that weekend. And she said, Lee, I just had the best time. And I did kind of reveal, I was like, well, it was a little crazy behind the scenes, but we pulled it off, and I ended up having to do all this all by myself. And her eyes got really big, and she's like, well, who do you need? Because if you can do all this just by yourself, imagine what you could do with support. And I kind of got chills. I was like, okay, thank you. So it was really special that these and she wants me to do it in Boulder. So I'm like, well, we'll talk about that. Uh, I would love it was fun. It was a rush. It was a thrill. I need to build up my subscriber base, my people first, and then I do, but there's something there, right? Because with the tech piece, like it's tech, and I want there to be more of a human experience kind of wrapped around it in the community. So that was really a big driving force of launching that. And
Mm-hmm.
so what are some other iterations that I could do that might be scaled down, or I don't know. So it's still percolating.
Interesting approach. I think the approach that you're describing is probably for a later stage of
Yes.
your success. And so it's not that it was wrong, it's not that it won't work, it's that you need it to work. You need the things that are going to move the needle the most right now for the least amount of money,
Thank
because you're bootstrapping this thing. Good for you.
you.
No fundraising needed for Lee. Good for you. So what made you decide to bootstrap versus raise money?
I wanted, I love a challenge, as I mentioned earlier, being kind of having that entrepreneurial spirit from the beginning. So of course, if everybody's like, oh, bootstrapping is crazy and very hard, I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this. I want to have a sustainable business. Now, eyes wide open, here I am. Do I have a sustainable business? No. So will I need capital at some point, maybe. There is no way I would go after it now, obviously, because I know I've got to have the traction. Um, and I feel like I need to earn the right. I don't know, there's part of me that's like, okay, I need to earn the right to keep building this thing, which is kind of crazy to say because I'm like, I'm building this for me and like this is a beautiful product. And, when I get in front of my people and they see it, they're just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Guy Saturday night at a party, he's a COO at a startup down in Paso Robles, and he was just like, wait, you're doing what? And so he's like, oh yeah, I'm your people. Like, I'm your people. Like, I want to stay in touch. And, he's even a product guy. So I'm like, oh, I would love feedback. But yeah, there's part of me that, is like, I mean, I love what I'm doing. Right. But I got to have that traction and that the signals coming back. So what are the ways that I can really test and get out there? Not so heavy handed. Heroic efforts, but right.
Founders tuning in, I hope you're paying attention to Lee's attitude about not having raised money because she hasn't felt like she's earned it. And I also feel like in saying that, she's also saying, and maybe when I earn it, it will be a good sign and nod that I don't need fund investor money because I proved to myself that I can make it go without it. You are doing things the right way. It's a long-term win. Vision's bigger than just winning today. I'm in this for the long haul, and I know that all I'd say, a lot of people that are entrepreneurs want the get rich quick stuff, and this is not that. And
I could have done a lot of other things.
You could have done a lot of other things, and yeah, but with your background in healthcare analytics, your background doing business development, Lee, you've got what it takes if there's demand and a market for it. So I mentioned the market earlier and the size of it. I found that in startups, you need a really, really good product and then a really, really good market demand for that product. If you can marry product and market fit, sales, marketing, R&D, customer service, you can take care of all of that if you have a market that is demanding with high demand the exact product you deliver. And sometimes when you build a product that's different but similar, people ask themselves, do I need another? Do I need different? Or is what I have good enough? So you wouldn't say, you'll correct me, I'm sure, if I say Yelp does what you do.
Woo! Yeah, no way.
You're like, whoa, Stu, no, right? But there's an argument that that a guy like me that's like, hey, I like to be healthy. I've found that what I can read out of reviews, I can deduct that this place is not a healthy place or this place has healthier options fairly quickly. I don't have to have another app to do that. So my initial inclination for me personally is I'm not going to add something more to my life when I have something that already. But I'm probably not your key target demographic. So so I hope you hearing me and listeners listening don't think what I'm saying is that means therefore because Stu's not a customer or that it's not a fit. No.
Yeah.
I have learned through a lot of experience that every business has a target market that does not always include me, and that they can make
there are
money.
A lot of businesses out there, yeah.
You know how many, by the way, I'll give you an example, a fun one. You know how many people told me when I was building getfoundfirst.com and we were managing the pay-per-click ads for dentists usually? I'd tell them, I write the Google ads. Oh, I never click on those. Well, turns out that even though you don't, Google is a multi-billion-dollar business because there are a lot of people that actually do
There you go.
click those ads. So I know full well that just because I go, oh, that's probably my out. It's good to know that as a business owner. It just means where do I find the non-stews? Where do I find the Lees of the
Yeah.
world that are like,
Yes.
I'm passionate enough. I know that Yelp isn't good enough or fast enough or convenient enough or
Yeah.
detailed enough for me to
Yeah.
know whether I will go there or not as a restaurant choice. And so, where are those people and how do I get in front of them for less money, faster,
Mm.
and get them using the application? Because once they use it, if I can then get them to help me find the other people, the other Lees, that's going to do well, right? So, the FitCons of the world and the different events where health nuts are going, maybe more of the peptide craze is going to go nuts over the next few years. And as it does, it's like, okay, those people that are biohackers, as you described them, that are getting into this game of peptides, well,
Food is
wherever
foundational.
wherever they gather
Yes.
wherever they gather, if you
Yes.
can say,
That's right.
"Hey, you can do the peptides, but you still have to eat
Yeah.
well." Chocolate cake is the only thing you eat is not gonna
Yeah.
make you a healthy person with
And
peptides.
it's how you feel, right? Even the GLP-1s are the same. I mean, but that's not really my people, right? But that's like a totally separate market. But yeah, it's eat well so you can feel good and be on your game. And so those functional medicine practitioners, the holistic nutritionists, like I think all of their clients that are going to want something practical once they're done, they've gone through the clinical, the detox, and now they're like, okay, I'm on my maintenance mode. I need a practical tool just to that I can trust, right?
Yeah.
That looking at the world with the exact same lens no matter what. I mean, I say, Alice Waters is right. She's got Chez Panisse um, down the road. I'm like, if Alice Waters recommended a restaurant to me, I'm still going to put it through our system. So every single place is going through the exact same evaluation, scoring, selection, and high quality curation.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, earlier you described yourself having to hop in and do the programming.
Ooh.
I I think that, that is awesome that you did that. That is a quintessential founder thing to go like, "Hey, I'm gonna find a way, and if my guy bails on me, I'm still gonna find a way." Good for you doing that. The reason I bring that up is because when you get to a place where you decide it's time to raise money, you're going to find that people that are on your salary are a lot less likely to leave you quick, whereas contractors can leave a little easier. They can come and go, right? So that's a benefit of getting to a place where you raise money. But you do have to first go and solve for the problem of I'm not I have built a product that I believe as someone who's a user very helpful.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I have not matched this
Yeah.
product that's very good with the people that will see the goodness and want the goodness and pay for the goodness.
Yep.
And finding that then affords either the fundraising or the revenues that justify the salaries to get people on board and on your side. And Lee, you're gonna find a way. This
Bingo.
will work out. I can just feel it with the type of um personality you have and the traits that you are exuding and showing. So keep after that.
Mm.
What do you think it is that has given you the motivation to keep going? Obviously, you mentioned something. Oh, wait, I have one other thing, and I apologize for taking so much time.
No.
This is good stuff, Lee. You said earlier, like, that you were so filled. It filled me that
Mm.
when you
Mm.
were describing this event you put on in
Yeah.
Colorado Springs.
Mm.
Founders, you have to be working on something that when the payday doesn't come, that
Mhm.
when the roller coaster goes down for a while, you don't go, man, get me off this train. Instead, you say, I still feel so filled, right?
Yes,
Like that's
amen,
the type of,
amen. Yes,
yeah.
and 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 write it down though, because if you're like me, your memory is short, right? And so all that good stuff, and so it's like I say it, and then because it's easy to think about like, oh, the developer bailed, we didn't get the release out, I can't believe it, this was such a failure, but it's like, no, all this goodness, all these connections. And like, I've got some really cool podcast episodes of my own that will be coming out with a leader in international hospitality, also a celebrity chef, all these people I met through that event, just really special, good people like you and me.
What's your show? What's your show? Can people go
Um,
find it now or is it
yeah.
about to come out?
Oh yeah, we've got, my goodness. Yeah, that's a good question because I have quite the backlog of episodes and I just found a video editor. So Healthy Anywhere on YouTube. So it's just at Healthy Anywhere, and I've got, yeah, there's a lot out there actually. I think we've got over 100 videos maybe, and I have at least 12 episodes in the hopper. Um yeah. Yeah, so I
Lee,
mean, my vision, so my other dream, this is like all the projects I could go on. Um, I want to go around to all the best of the best that make the app someday and do like produced on-site show and tell with the food and the chef. I mean, that's, like that,
you've
and
got the
I'm
personality for that, the
doing
Guy
some of
Fieri,
it.
but you're like the Guy
Yes.
Fieri, but for the healthy food
Bingo.
option.
Bingo. 100%. That's it. And you'll see it. There's one in Ojai that we got over 1,000 views. And it's in this beautiful garden setting with a farm chef. There's one that was in Oakland, like, and we're sitting there with the food in that episode. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. And some of them are on Zoom, but
There you have it, folks. Go and search up the Healthy Anywhere app in the App Store. Go search it up on YouTube. And if we have one last topic, Lee, either something you want to share for other founders, if you want to share it with the healthy food listeners, um, or if you want to ask me a question, let's go for 1 or 2 more minutes here on that.
oh, you're killing me. You're killing me with the one. Um, well, I think I have a question here I was going to ask, but I think we've answered it. So the one thing that I will say is that I got a wonderful piece of advice from an angel investor who's been investing in the Silicon Valley for like 70 years, or no, he's 84 years old, but he said to me, stop stressing, you know, don't worry about the 7 years or 8 years, because you're going to figure this out, and you care, and you're gonna figure this out. And he said, and listen, no matter what happens, this has already been a phenomenal success. He's like, look at all you've built, look at all you've learned, look at all of this incredible. I mean, it really is. It's unbelievable just to sit and think about it. So he's like, how fortunate are you to have this experience, to be in this place where you can do work that you genuinely love and are passionate about. So I reflect on that conversation. That was like back in October of last year. I reflect on that a lot. And then the other thing that has kind of related to that, just through this, it's not what I'm building ultimately, it's who I am becoming, right? And my ultimate goal is to like be the best version of Lee, present, fully showing up, aligned with what I'm here to do. And like, if I just give it my all and my best at that every day, like that's it, right? That's it.
Oh, Lee, those are wise words, you guys.
Mm.
Don't just build your business, build yourself along the way, become better. And because a better version of you may be the end outcome of your startup. And that may be all that's left of your startup, and so be a better version of yourself along the way. Okay, Lee, in closing, one of the things that I've covered a lot is the family life of our guests. Uh,
Yes.
and I'm curious, how has your family supported you through this process? Tell us a little bit about your family dynamic if you can.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So well, I like to say I'm my app baby. So no kids at this point. But I have a husband, Jason, and he is phenomenally supportive. I we had started touching on this in the beginning, but there were 2 years out of the gates when I started working on Healthy Anywhere. His mom got really sick. She went into home hospice. It was like an extended, like we were caring for her. It was really, really stressful. Right. But I kept building through that. In the beginning, Jason was a little freaked out, like, "Whoa, what are you doing? What are you doing?" And he's been in tech a lot. He's a program manager and he's worked for a lot of the different big tech companies. And like at that point in time when his mom was going through that, he was working at a company that wasn't really so compassionate, right? And he was having to commute. It was crazy, 5-6 hours a day, come home and care for his mom, not
Mhm.
sleep on the commute. And it was hard. I think it was very hard for him. Those were some rough years, right? But we got through them and we're so much stronger for that. But at first he's just like, "What? Wait, what are you doing? You don't know." It was just the the reaction. I did not expect the reaction from, and especially my parents, very, conservative in Alabama. They're like, "Whoa, what's going on? Lee's like lost it. Woo! Like, hey, danger, danger, like go back to safety, please." So there was a lot of that in the beginning, but I think I wore them down. They're like, she's gonna figure it out. And Jason, uh he sees some of the stuff. He's not really as into the details because he's pretty busy with his stuff. But he obviously is supportive of me pursuing this, and he's like, "Let's make this happen." Um,
Good for you guys. That's so critical. I've seen founder after founder go through different things with their family dynamic, and
mm,
if you don't have spousal support or
whew.
partner support, good luck.
Yeah, it was.
So,
I mean, it was rough because it was. There were during those rocky. He was kind of like, "Hey, are you? You're gonna work. You're gonna get a job. What are you doing? You're just like hanging out at home." Like, but he was under so much stress. And but yeah, no support 100%. So I am so grateful for that. So grateful for that. And my parents too. My dad's like one of my biggest salesperson people. He's like, "Hey, did you know you're in this app?" We'll be eating out. They'll go eat out at the restaurants. I've been working on them. Um,
that's so cool.
so yeah.
Good for you. Well, hey, keep up the good work. It's going to be fun to keep
Mm.
hearing how the story goes with Healthy Anywhere, and hopefully we get a few downloaders out of this listen
Oh,
today.
amazing, amazing.
So,
Yeah, if you download it, send me an email and say hello. I would love to connect.
how do people connect? Do they find you on Instagram or at LinkedIn, or where's the best place?
Everywhere. So, personally, I'm on LinkedIn. I will be getting back Lee Balcomb on LinkedIn. For the brand, Eat Healthy Anywhere on Instagram, and then Healthy Anywhere on YouTube. Those are kind of our main channels, I would say. We're also on Facebook and TikTok. I might pick that up one of these days. But yeah, when you sign up for the app, there is really an in-depth educational program that you go through for the first 42 days. It's dripped over email. Hit reply and let me know what you're thinking, right?
Okay, good
Any
to
of those
know.
emails.
So you're
Um,
getting a lot more than just the app and the direction.
oh,
You're getting
there's
some
a
coaching from
lot.
Lee there in the emails. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
awesome. Okay, well, hey, Lee Balcomb, I can't wait to watch you take your startup to the moon. This has been another episode of Startups with Stu. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for joining me on Startups with Stu. We have big goals to help millions of entrepreneurs. If you enjoyed this show, please take a minute to share it with someone else that needs to hear it, or leave a review. Remember, success is within reach for those who dare to dream big and take action. Until next time, keep pushing forward on your entrepreneurial journey.